I'm back. Yep. Again, video number 2, I suppose. I'm back up at the top of the Mono Trail again. It's my favorite place to come. And just to be totally upfront, like I said I would always be, it's been a couple of months. We're now in August. My daughter's back in school today. Been a long couple of months. You know, like I said in my first video, we all got problems, we all got things that we face, we all have issues, and it's funny how we give them so much priority in our lives, how much we focus on the problems of our life, and how little time we spend focusing on these kind of moments where we're able to just sit and reflect and think about life in a different way, in a perspective that excludes all of the societal implications of need, greed, and desire, and I don't know, just all the BS that we are force-fed, that we are led to believe is such a priority when it's so not. But, we all fall for it. We all suffer through it. And we all have these moments where we think, God, why do I do this stupid stuff? Again, let's just be honest. That's one of the things that I think is so lacking in the world today. We're so afraid to be honest because we can be sued. We can be, all this stuff. And, oh, he doesn't like me. Nobody watch him. Nobody support this. Nobody do that because they said something that upset me. I get offended about things. I'm not gonna lie. We all do. It's a human characteristic. It's a human thing. And hey, I'll be honest. I think my cats get offended. I think cats have it too. I don't think it's just strictly human related. But here's the deal with being offended, right? Here's the deal with being offended. That's your choice. You're offended because of something you choose. You're choosing to be this way. You're choosing to believe this thing. You're choosing to perform this task. You're choosing to not do. You're choosing to not believe. You're choosing to, it's a choice you make that creates the offense you have. So being offended is a personal thing. I get offended, because I choose to believe this. I choose to do that. So when something doesn't fit with that, there's various levels of offense that I can take. Like if I'm truly offended by something, well, guess what? I'm not going to be in that area. I'm not going to talk to that person. I'm not going to put myself in that situation again. I'm not going to try to make that person stop being who they are. I'm going to simply choose to remove myself from the situation that caused my offense. It has nothing to do with that person. It has to do with me. Being offended is a personal matter, right? It's like you can be offended about anything. Okay, here's a good example, right? I have seen people that like to have ketchup on macaroni and cheese. If you're one of those people, more power to you. It is something that, yeah, I get it. I like ketchup on different things that people don't like too. Like, I like ketchup on my eggs. That's a weird thing. There's a lot of people that look at you going, what the hell did you just do to those eggs? And I get it. But I have the same kind of a reaction when somebody puts ketchup on mac and cheese. How stupid is that? Why would I say, okay, we need to, stop this. I'm going to start a protest that, ketchup does not belong on mac and cheese and blah. How stupid does that sound, right? Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with all of these things that are going on in our society. We're so focused on trying not to offend somebody, but that's not our choice to make. Even by choosing to be non-offensive, we're offending people. It just happens. It just happens. Somebody can ask me, what do you prefer to be called? And it's like, I almost take offense to that, because it's like, well, my name's John. Call me that, you know? Well, yeah, but do you want to be like, just call me John. Like, it's not complicated to me. Again, it's my choice to be offended. It's the choices I've made. It's the beliefs I hold. It's the life I live. It's how I eat my mac and cheese. That offends me when it's not that way. So why in the world would I try to impose that on everybody else? I love the fact that there is diversity in this world. How boring would it be if we could no longer speak because it might offend somebody? If we could no longer write stories because it might offend somebody? Like, I'm not writing a story and then shoving it in your face and forcing you to read this story before, like, that's not it. Okay, I'm reading a story and something in it offends me. Okay, I put it down. I don't read it anymore. It's not a complicated issue. Now, do I want my daughter having access to some of the pornographic, books or things like that in the school? No, I don't want the school to provide those things. I want to be able to have some say in that matter. But at the same time, should I be stopping the school from putting those in libraries and things like that? I mean, I can voice my opinion, but what's more important is to teach my daughter what I believe and to try to give her a base upon which she can review that material, or choose not to review that material, and then choose how to be with that material. Is it offensive to her? Is it offensive to her views of the world so far? And to help her try to understand and try to recognize and be strong in choosing her life herself. Not letting it be influenced by the outside world, not letting it be influenced by a book, not letting it be influenced by social media, but for her to say, is this what I like? Is this who I am? Because that's her choice. Just like it is all of ours, And nobody has the right to tell her different. The closest people that have the right to do that are her parents, myself and her mother. Now, do we have the right to say, no, you are going to be this way? No, we don't. But we have the right to influence and say, okay, this is the way you feel about that. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And to provide her with options, to provide her with choices, to provide her with the open possibility and the open mindsets of other options, of other ways to think, of other ways to view things, because there always is. You can wash a plate in countless ways. The result is it's still going to be clean when you're done. All the stuff's going to be off it and everything, and it's going to be able to be used again. But you don't have to wash it in a specific way. You don't have to use a sponge in a clockwise fashion with this much soap and that much water and this hot water and that bleach to clean it. You don't have to do all those things. I have literally washed dishes with sand in lake water. Right over there, actually. And rinsed them, dried them, and eaten off them again. Now, is it totally sanitary? No. But did it have any old food or anything like that on it? No. But I have a strong, healthy immune system because I've done things like that. Now, does me telling you that washing my plate with sand and rinsing it in the lake water, does that offend you? Well, guess what? I don't care, because it doesn't offend me. And you don't have to eat off that plate that I washed. Now, if you come over to my house for dinner, am I going to give you a plate that's been washed in the lake? No, I'm not. I'm going to wash it in the sink with soap and stuff. And of course, but when I'm out camping or hiking and things like that. But yeah, I don't care. I'm getting the food off. That's what I'm doing, So anyway, it just goes to show that there is always a different way to view something, always a different way to get something done that accomplishes the same thing, but in countless ways. And that is the beauty of this life. You can't tell trees they have to grow a specific way. You can't tell a bush that, where it's growing offends you, and it has to move. Can you go dig it up? Sure. Is it going to kill it? Yeah. If you plant it somewhere that's out of the way and stuff, is it going to survive? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe the nutrients where it was is why it started growing there. Maybe the same seeds that fell in the spot where you just planted it didn't grow because the soil there was bad, or because it doesn't get the right lighting, or because there's so many reasons, so many things. So you can't control the world, and you can't control the lives around you. You can't control the lives that you will never meet. This is one of the things that really fascinates me about the social media institution as a whole. Like, you can be an influence. Yeah, of course you can influence things. And if people are searching and people are looking, and you're saying something that rings true with them and that harmonizes with them, yeah, they're going to watch. They're going to do that. That's what I do. Like, if I'm skimming through different videos or something and I see something that's like, whoa, that's really interesting, I watch it. Do I necessarily subscribe to stuff? No, I think I've only subscribed to a couple of different things. Y-Files, which I love. But I love that guy. Hecklefish, that's kind of annoying. But anyway, AJ, I enjoy how he presents his stories because it's open-minded. It's here's this, here's that, here's the facts that I found. Make up your mind. And that's what we all need to remember about social media, is make up your own mind. Think for yourself. That is one of the biggest things that I think is starting to be lost, is the think for yourself. We're so quick and so fast to jump on just whatever comes across that appears popular. It doesn't even have to be popular, it just has to appear popular. And all of a sudden, oh, yeah, I've thought that way my whole life. And it's like, have you really, though? Have you really? If you have, great. Then you found something that somebody else that thinks that same exact way, and there you go, you've found something. But that doesn't mean you should convince everybody else to think the same way. Present your ideas, sure. But don't the whole, the cancel culture. I don't get it, man. Like, if we don't like you, then we're going to tell everybody to stop watching you. Why are you going to influence other people's choices? Why are you trying to control people that you've never met? Why are you trying to do that? What's the point in that? It's like, okay, if something they did made you mad, don't watch. It's truly that simple, man. That's what I do. It's like, if, I saw something and it's like, oh, that looks interesting. I start watching. It's like, whoa, yeah, no thanks. Click. I go to the next video. I stop watching. I don't try to stop them from expressing who they are and what they're wanting to do. There's no point in that. And again, it would be a boring world, because whose final opinion are we going to go by? We're going to create a dictatorship where one person's idea of good, one person's idea of is acceptable, and everybody has to believe that. Otherwise, we're going to execute you. What? Yeah, not exactly the world I want to live in. And it is definitely not the world I live in and that I believe in. So I don't want to push towards that goal. I want to stay as far away from that as possible. And that's why I encourage and support diversity and think, hey, think what you want. I'm choosing my life. You choose your life. Make your choices. I'm making mine. If you're offended by my choices, hey, I might be offended by yours too. Let's call it even, and you go your way, I go my way, and that's that. There's no issue. You're not a part of my life. I'm not a part of yours. We were a blip, you know. Just like the human race is a blip to the planet, our interaction of a video or of even a hi in the street, or I I put ketchup on my eggs and you were sitting in the other side of the restaurant and you go, ugh, like, why should that split second of time create an impact in your life that makes you want to teach me not to put ketchup on my eggs, and you're going to do everything you can to teach me not to do that, and if I do it again, then you're going to tell everybody in the town to never speak to me again. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not plausible. It's not even feasible. It's such an expense of energy that you don't need. Why would you focus on that trouble? Why would you focus on that problem that you had with an instant? Like, don't waste the rest of your life on an instant of time. The earth is not wasting its time on us. It's like, yeah, okay, you're gonna build a road here, whatever, yeah, okay, yeah, you're gonna die, and I'm gonna change everything all over again, and you guys won't even know that you were here. Just like civilizations I've done time and time again. The earth doesn't care, man. We are a blip. To the time frame of the earth, we are a blip. We're a pimple that is gonna pop one day, and then it's gonna be done with us, and then it'll be something else. Well, it's the same thing, man. When you're offended by somebody's action, by somebody's word, by somebody's appearance, by, whatever it is, think about it for a minute. What impact does that have on your life as a whole? None, man. It doesn't have any. So why let it have that impact? Don't give it that power. Don't surrender yourself to that negative aspect of life, because it's there, and humans are amazingly good at focusing on it and dwelling in it. Believe me, I know. I am as good at it as anybody. But it's something else that I'm aware of. It's something else that I try to avoid, especially when it comes to others' influence in my life. I try very much, one of the first things I say when something catches my eye or something catches my ear that strikes up that offensive feeling, the immediate thing that I say is this person going to matter to me in 1 month? Literally, like in the next 4 weeks, how much time am I going to be around this person? Now, if it's my boss, then yeah. And so if it's my boss, I might say, hey, you know what? That joke you just made, yeah, try not to make it around me again, okay? Do your thing whenever I'm not around, whatever. But, if I'm in a meeting with you or something, just so you know, that joke kind of triggered me a little bit. Just so that you're aware. Now I've made my point, and now, does that mean if he tells it again and stuff, I'm going to be like, I told you to? No. It just means that I've expressed my thought. I've expressed my personal feelings on the matter. Now it's up to them to either respect that or to just say, screw you, you don't matter to my life, and which I don't, And at the same time, when they do tell it again, I have to say the same thing in my head. Yeah, you told your fucking stupid joke again. Okay, ooh, I said a beep. So anyway, you get what I mean. It's just, be honest, be open, encourage the diversity that so many people seem to be trying to curb right now. Embrace your offense, but recognize that it's your offense. You're the one who chose your beliefs. You're the one that chose your lifestyle. You're the one that chose whatever it is you're choosing that is offending somebody else. and that you're being offended by. But because you believe the way you do, that's where the offense comes from. That's why you're offended. They're not, the majority of the time, they're not intentionally setting out to offend you. They don't know, or they're just offended, and so they're saying, well, that's freaking ridiculous. That offends me. So don't be offended back, just be like, oh, sorry, well, don't be around me then, or, well, okay, don't read my post, or don't, watch my video, or, it's simple. It really is. That's that. So that was talk number 2 on offended. So I don't know if I've offended you. Well, I am glad that you are so strong in your beliefs. I am glad that you are that you have an established view and an established perspective of things that makes what I'm saying offensive, because that means that you believe strongly in your belief and that it opposes mine, and that's okay. That's a good thing, man. So, I encourage that. And if you're not offended, if you're sitting there going, oh my God, that is so right, well, hey, we think alike, and that's cool too. I'm sure there's going to be other things that I post that might have you going, whoa, wait a minute, this guy said what? I tend to be that way. I have contradictory beliefs, which is really kind of ironic and weird, but true. I believe in God, but I believe in science as well, because, I think God follows rules. I think God has regulations. God has boundaries and things that he or she or whatever that it is, really I don't view God as a he or she, because God is not human. We might be made in the image of, or something like that, but hey, I can imagine a lot of things, and that's an image, right? So, look at some of the creatures. If you believe in the creation aspect, look at some of the creatures that are out there. Those are in God's image, what is that little mole dude that has all the little things on his nose? That's not pretty to me, but it's obviously pretty to God. He made it in his image. That's the image he had of what that creature looked like, if you go that way, Now, I also think God is open to choice and to freedom of growth. So I have no issue with, the evolutionary chain where things improve, things change, things are different, things, manipulate their own existence. I firmly believe that would be supported by an eternal power or all-powerful individual. Again, because it comes down to how boring would it be if it was all the same. That's never going to change, that's never going to change, that's never going to change, that's never going to change. No, man, no way. It's just dull. And if you're living forever, man, you want change in your life. So, all right, man. Hopefully that video number 2, even though it's a couple months later, is okay. I haven't even opened the channel yet. And be honest again, I'm nervous of it. It's like you put your opinions out there, you put yourself out there, and yeah, this whole video is about not being afraid of that and just doing it. And that's kind of partly to convince myself, just do it, man. So at some point, I'll get myself convinced. It might be on video 20, but hey, at least then I've got 20 weeks of videos to put up without having to make them, right? All right, man. Y'all have a good day. Be good to each other.